So, hello. It's been quite a while, so I kind of had to reset up everything, but hi. It's pretty exciting for me. If anything is too loud or too quiet, please let me know. Oh yeah, the wolf. I actually had entity spawning off for most of the time, and somehow some wolves made it up here. Okay, good. I can change that at any time, so just let me know if it gets too loud, because some tracks are a little bit louder than the others. So we're just gonna wait a little bit longer, and yeah, my plan for tonight was basically just start here, because this is basically where everything began, and you can see the origins of my map. It's flat. It's very flat. And also, if you want, if the chat is in the way or something, I can also remove that. I really like having the chat on for later, so it's documented, because my streams, I'm not a partner, so my streams are gonna be gone in 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly. Alright, perfect. So yeah, it's... oh wait. Entity spawning must have been turned on again. Somehow. What? Well, now I have some animals roaming this map. Amazing. So yeah. It's really hard to believe, especially for me, that I basically started this on a flat map, and this is literally the gate to the past, where everything was kind of not existing. And I finally reached it after so many years. Once again, I feel very sorry that I was gone for so long. And without notice, it was quite a difficult year this year, and next year is gonna be maybe even more difficult, but this time I will try to stick around. So yeah, my plan for today is really just not even flying yet. In the beginning I really just want to slowly walk up, because it's kind of interesting to see the map from, well, just the position of walking on it, right? I'm always flying around, and you lose a sense of scale when you always flying up there. And today I want to intro the whole thing by just walking up on the streets that I built. Those are my street lanterns. They are not looking that great, but they are fulfilling their job. Yeah, I mean, next year is gonna be also very exciting. It depends. It can go both ways. Either it's gonna be a great success and I will finally turn my life around, or I might fail again, but then I won't stop trying this time. Because I know I can make it back up. This year proves that there are possibilities, and they are always coming up at some point. If you fail in one, then maybe next time you'll get it. So, yeah, it's... Wait, that comes... Is that the same wolf? I don't want many wolves spawning here. So I have time speed still at 0, because today I also want to, once I'm done walking around here, I want to start some animations and want to increase the speed so we can have a full day-night cycle in the city. I think that would be pretty cool. And I guess I'm gonna start up with walking up there. So I need a different solution. So this is basically just the entrance for people who are walking, but I need a different kind of solution for people with big cargo or carts, because this is really not that nice to get up here. But it's the gatehouse for frontal attacks. It's pretty safe here. You can defend it very well, and that was all I wanted to do. So, quite frankly, the last thing I built was the first thing you're probably going to reach when you enter the city, which is the market district. And you will find some stables here first. They are so big from here. I don't know what kind of animals fit in there, but something. Maybe one day we will have something like horses. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. Now I have to decide which way I go. Let's go this way. We have more stables because, again, it's a big castle, and yeah, I mean, it's not necessary. This is a fantasy, you know, it's just an idea for me, and I wanted to make it into something real that I can show off. So, I don't actually need horses in those stables. Actually, with my PC setup right now, if I had horses in all those stables, I'd probably crash, or my RAM would run out. So yeah, we reached the market. It's the first thing you reach. I think that's very logical, actually. So basically, if you have people coming in from the outside or from the inside, they trade here. It's the midway point for all kinds of trades. We have also a little bit of a market center in the middle of the normal city, and I didn't specify them, all those stables yet. So it's just generic interior design, but still lots of work. On the right side we have another stable. Once again, I have so many of them because I believe that whatever kind of nation or faction lives in such an epic city probably has a lot of horses and or other kinds of animals they ride on, and they need them. Yesterday I said I would manually plant the different kinds of grass, but I died internally. I really did. So I just used the airbrush tool. So this is a little bit more random. It's not optimal, but I think for big areas like this, it's completely fine to have grass like that. Yeah, I know. But the good thing is that I didn't choose to put them in, because that would be crazy. I mean, one day, if I make a video or something like that, where these stalls will appear, I might want to specialize some of them to be in a good shot, and maybe I want to individualize them a little bit more. But it's fine right now because the only person that is walking on here is me, and I think that grade of detail is still pretty impressive for that, and I can sure improve it at any time. So this is my blacksmith. I only have one because it's too much work for a single building to be so individualized. I only wanted to do that for the market district because I wanted to have one center where the detail is a little bit more than in the rest of the city. You will see that a lot of generic interior design and exterior design is happening all over the place because it's in such a large scale that if you want to get it done in any reasonable time, and I already had some motivational problems, if you want to keep your motivation up, you want to have some kind of progress, and you need to, you know, make it a bit more generic. At least if you're alone. If you're in a team, that's completely different. So this is a library. I thought a civilized culture will probably have one. It's pretty large. A lot of decoration. Once again, I have only one type of flower pot because first of all, I started off having just one flower pot type when I started building this map. But secondly, it's really just, if it comes to individualization and different types of decoration, not only do I not need it necessarily, but it would also just be the way I build these things. It would take too much time. Still looks pretty cool. Big building. Let me through, guys. Let me through. It's really the first time that I actually walked in here, and this is just one building, right? Besides the epic castle. And it's so big actually from the inside. Imagine walking into the city for trading or whatever reason, visit family, whatever. That thing is just one of the towers. It's a statement for everyone that visits the city. This is just part of the wall, guys. We built different towers as well. It's not even the main tower, guys. Haha. We have like 5 of them. So everyone's gonna be understanding that they better not start a war with this faction, whatever it is. So this is like a city building. I wanted to make like a mayor's building or something like that, where you have an assembly hall for community members and etc. and authorities, civilian authorities in that case, where you have basically urban politics happening, and a few offices back there. Hello, no one here? Okay, sorry. Yeah. It has a few rooms up here, but you know, they are very generic rooms, just so all decorated in just the limited amounts that I used. Once again, there are different types of flower pots and planters that I love. I really do, they look great. But I wanted to have a uniform design for just the flower pots because it's hard enough to have different flowers, guys. If I had to combine different flowers with different flower pots, that'd be insane. That would be so much work. It's crazy. And my attention span really is not what it was a long time ago, because back in the day I actually built like 13 hours a day. Obviously not in one session, but like 2 or 3 sessions in a total of 13 hours. And I didn't tire. I did not. Now I build like for 5 hours and I'm so tired. And which is also the reason why the adventure map will take a little bit longer. And I actually I actually will start building it after this because I wanted to build the market district for the simple reason that it's the last big thing that has so much detail in it that everything after that is basically just routine stuff. It's like a chore to work off. And so I can push it as secondary priority from now on and can focus on my adventure map. Because I did plan to just build 5 hours on this map and then 2 hours on my adventure map, but I was like, I only built like in the evening, and then it's like 2 o'clock at night, and I'm just like tired. I'm really tired. Again, back in the day, I'm old. I feel so old. What happened to me? So this is like a living quarters situation. We have all those watchtowers, and those are literally just guard towers for civil units. So basically the police, but they're obviously not called that. And they just sleep here. Everyone having their own table and stuff. Nothing special here, just some living quarters. Close the door. It's like, this is the guard tower, but this is the castle tower. It's funny. It's really funny to me. Please go ahead. If you can manage to record on this thing, because it lags me like hell. But if you can manage, sure. I can send Tavern the file at any time. It's his game, basically. So for Minecraft it has always been, but obviously it was never necessary to even think about that. But for this game, it's your game, right? So for me it's like, I don't own copyright on this map. You do, because it's your game. And if you're nice enough, you will give me the right to represent myself for this map, but and take credit for it. What the... Is he upside down? So, alright. Let's not look at what happened here. I don't get it. So yeah, we have just some basic buildings with interior design and stuff. Obviously, because even though this is the market district, the traders, etc., people live here as well. So it's obviously part of the city. So you have just living space here. This is a store. You can buy all kinds of stuff here. Once again, I only used my generic stuff. Actually have a second floor here. You could individualize it and put all that other stuff in, like different types of flower pots, but it would be even more work for this one because there's so many shelves in here. It's insane. But yeah, I thought like a miscellaneous kind of store would be necessary. And then we have a pretty nice, this is just a living, another just normal building. And then we have a little bit of a forest kind of area right besides it. A small building here. Again, nothing special. It's all interior designed in this district. I like putting spider webs in because of the head cannon for this map. Yeah, I'm actually not sure about it. For Minecraft it has always been that way, that builders came up with the idea that once they build something, it is their creation, and then on Reddit it was really much discussed, and I actually had some conversations, and ultimately Microsoft owns your maps because they own the game. So I think it's pretty similar here, but it may also differ on national law. I think it's very ambiguous, but it doesn't really matter to me because I guess you guys will have me my credit, so I will never fight over it anyway. Even if you say it's yours, you know, it's like without the game I couldn't make it. So this is a tavern, guys. Yeah, the tavern is of course big. What else? What do you think? So we have a kitchen area. Oh, it's like a tavern slash restaurant in a way. You can get some food in here, but the main thing is alcohol. Lots of room. Lots of room. And like a good tavern, it also has some living quarters upstairs. Oh, that was... The tavern actually, despite not being the biggest building in this city, took me 3 days to build because of interior design. Again, I hate interior design. It's really annoying to me because if you think about it that way, you can spend 30 minutes just putting furniture into okay, that went a little bit wrong. Into a room, or I could spend 30 minutes building a wall that could become a segment of a gigantic castle. And when at the end of the day I'm done spending hours and hours of building, when I do interior design, I basically have to fly into every room to see it. While when I build a segment of a wall, it's a gigantic wall at the end of the day, right? So if it comes to motivation, you have a very rewarding, gratifying effect when building big stuff. While interior design is just lots of effort and you don't really see it from the outside. Which makes sense, it's interior design. Every single room. Differently, it's not called... Yo? Hello? Yeah. So people can rent some for the night, they can rent a room. So many rooms in here. It's really interesting also to see from the outside how you might not even imagine how many rooms would fit into a building, but this building is actually extremely large. So lots of rooms. I didn't count them actually. I don't know how many. And I could have fit a lot more in if I actually built out the roof section and make like a cellar area. But I didn't think it was necessary actually. So let's go out of the tavern. Let's leave it. Let's go back out to the market. Another guard tower here. Hello. So we went full circle now, I think. Yes, we're back at the stables here. And the only thing that I want to show you still in the market district is the market itself from the inside here. As you can see on the minimap, we have basically them pointing outwards, and then I built a little pathway inside to utilize the space that we have. And so we have here market stands on both sides. I increased the amount of someday, yes, alcohol bottles. I mean, we kind of want to. I think on the roadmap we have alcohol somewhere, so I guess it's gonna be coming eventually. So we have a nice well here. People can gather around, talk. We have a little bit of a park area over here. More market stands. I actually didn't show you everything. We still have a warehouse somewhere. It's my city, I don't know where stuff is. Ah, get me out. No, I can't get out. I need to use the road. Here. Can I get... No, I can't. I closed it off very well. So this is like a little mini park area. And then we have the warehouse. There's a cart right there with some goods. Some spider webs. Ah! Let me in. Let me in. So. Damn, the warehouse also looks really big. It's the first time I actually walked through this. So it's kind of like I went into it, well, not completely blindly, obviously I built it, but from this perspective I haven't seen it yet, which is nice. Because you always fly around, which is great. Oh, this is actually meant to be like a bakery for baked goods. Some ovens here. But I couldn't put bread on the shelf, so I was like, well, I guess not. Everyone knows what it is though, so it's cool. And this is very interesting. My wall ends here, because back in the day I didn't know how far it would go, and I'm not exactly sure if this mountain even existed at this point. But yeah, so this is something that I actually want to ask you guys, because if the stream is going for long enough, I will eventually start building again in the stream, and I will probably start building some basic, you know, houses again, because the next step is extending the city, more city buildings. It has to be done. But in a week or something I will be done with that, and I want to finish off the connection between this part of the wall and this mountain. And I might do it on a live stream, so I guess it'd be kind of cool, in my opinion, to stream the building of something that large, because I have so many, whenever I post a screenshot, I have so many people asking, how did you do this? And I'm like, yeah, well, it's not that difficult actually, but it just takes a lot of time, and I could just live stream it and eventually put it on YouTube, so people can see how I built such a large structure. And of course I kind of want to live stream a bit more. What's going on here? That's a little weird. Hello there. Okay, I see you. Butterflies. Let's go back to walking. So, I think now that we're done, this is just the market district, and it actually extends a lot more because there's so much more forest and just side areas. I mean, I can just go in there and just show you. It's just like, you know, it's nothing there, no detail, no like secret thing. It's just a forest. But it had to be done as well, right? I had to manually put down these boxes and crates and bushes and flowers, and it's also part of the process. So I'm not complaining, but it takes so much time. It really does. Yes. So the thing about YouTube is, before that I used Spotify for my music, and most of that was later muted and claimed, despite me using specifically no copyright music. But I found this new service called Pretzel Rocks or something, and I actually am premium member now, so they say that you can upload anything with that music on YouTube. So I am tempted to just download my streams, if they gonna be multiple of them, and upload them on YouTube for you guys to see. I think it would be pretty cool for people who miss the stream, or just, you know, if someone comes up and is like, how did you build something, or can you show me this area, like I can just link them the stream again. Yes, because I really don't want to have any trouble, especially nowadays. YouTube is really mad with lots of things. It's, I don't know, people getting videos deleted and claimed and strikes for nothing, and I'm not interested in that. So but I will upload probably this stream unlisted first, and the content ID system will still work, and we will see if it is going to be claimed. So it's going to be the first test. If it's not claimed, then I can literally use this playlist for my next streams, and we can have them uploaded all the time. So welcome to the actual city part, by the way. I kind of talked and rambled along while actually getting into the real city. So many of these buildings are also interior designed to the extent that I wanted them. The amount of spider webs are actually on purpose. It's all internal lore, because I kind of had to explain the fact that I have a gigantic city without people in it. So I'm like, well, I shouldn't talk about it actually. It's something for the future. But it makes sense, trust me. This is just a small tower over here. It's literally, well, quite literally towering over us. Even though it's just really small. So yeah. Not every building is obviously interior designed. I said that in my last stream, that I would use about 40% of the buildings would probably not be... you wouldn't be able to enter them, because it's just a waste. And ultimately this entire thing is meant to be on a video one day, or on a video series, or on a stream like this. And I don't need to go through every single building. I really don't. I just need to have enough to showcase that, yes, it is a city, guys. It really is. It's a city where people lived quite a while ago. Trust me, I say that. It's my city. So yeah, so many buildings, so much interior design. And this is an example of, if it's not interior designed, it just has lantern blocks over it, so no one can look into it. But it still will illuminate the streets around them. So it still has a function. At night. I also want to, I probably said it before, I want to have a full day-night cycle today with you guys together. And so when I take a break to eat something or to drink something, towards the end or the mid part of the stream, I will just fly up, turn on the time again, maybe even a little bit faster, and we can together watch a full day-night cycle inside the city. I think that will also be pretty cool. So this is, it's almost like a temple design, but it's not really a temple. It's supposed to be like a garden. And as I said, we have our own little market stands right here. Big tree. Hello. Little. Nice. Again, no particles because time is not on. So without time speed at any value, you don't have any particles. But I kind of don't need the particles right now, and while running around I don't want to lag too much. It actually takes a lot of my FPS because it's so big. So yeah, this is for people to just relax in, go in here, I don't know, spend some time. It's like a community building for everyone to come here, sit down and near the well. Yeah, it has actually a very extensive garden upstairs. I didn't plant anything special, I just planted many flowers there. Made sense to me. Hello. Ah! Oh, I fell. So there's actually this part. This is the big tree from before. This is upstairs. It's really cool. It's really just a place to relax. It's kind of utopical that inside of like such a big city, even though there are green places, there are trees, but it's still so, you know, you have so much that grows in here, so many colors, and it's very green and almost natural. And I like that, to have something that breaks that city environment a little bit and gives it a bit more peace. I think that's very important to have. It's really cool coming down here and walking, and it's really cool at night actually coming down here and seeing the city and that big tree illuminated. So yeah, down here is a weird constellation. It's a pillar. This one is obviously not meant to be in here, but I keep it for the simple reason that this is 0, 0, 0, or it's actually 0, 0 and 17 or something, because it's obviously we're not at the bottom of the map, but it's 0, 0 on XY coordinates, or whatever coordinates actually. I'm not really sure. So you can actually see it. Yeah, this is 0, 0. Well, it would be kind of in the way because, you know, carts and people have to go down here and it's a street. So it's kind of like having an obelisk in the middle of the street it surely is interesting, but I'm sure some traders would be angry at that. So we have the castle here, which is basically, it's not really a castle. This is meant to be just like a fortress. We all know it from the beginning. These are different designs for my lanterns. I still have them here. Forgot to remove them. I'm not gonna do it now. I won't go up there. It's too much. Actually, I just fly up there. Hello? Oh, yeah, okay. I fell through. I fell through because I used fly mode, non-clipping, and then immediately went back to non-fly. So here, empty map. Jeez. This is all pretty empty still because I had focus on the city, and every big structure here is really empty still. Also, all of these are lit chimneys, by the way. Go back down. So once I put the time speed to something other than 0, we will actually see some smoke coming out of a lot of these buildings. Not everyone, or not every building has a chimney, obviously. You can also know from above which building does not have an entrance, because obviously they don't have chimneys. More interior design. These buildings are all not specialized really. So this is basically my lore for this. Is like every city we have some outer districts, and this is one of them, where we can see the grass is not grown out. It's a little bit, you know, it came down a little bit. It's well, basically it's a ghetto. It's close to the forest. It's not as bad obviously as a real ghetto, but in relative to what we see up the city, it's poorer people live here, basically, because the environment is not as great and you're closer to well, the city wall. Oh, this is also a cool shot. This is the Observatorium. I showed you a picture of that, so we will eventually get up there. You can see it from down here. It's really cool. Yeah, and you can even see like the road is broken up. I did that on purpose. Put even grass in it. Oh, let's go. Walk, my friend, walk. So we're getting up. It was a good design decision to build that kind of you know, to build uphill, to terraform it that way. Cities usually are relatively flat if you think about it, but some are not, and that's just realistic. And in this case, the castle was built on top of a mountain, and the city in front of the castle will obviously also be right in front of that mountain, so it's going slightly upwards. It makes sense. Oh, it's a dead end. It's really funny. I so rarely or almost never walk on those streets that I have difficulties finding the right paths. Yeah, it's a good feature actually, to have it so uneven. It's something that you can't emulate later on. You have to make that decision very early on. It makes some stuff harder, but also it just looks more realistic and better and individualized. It's like if you build a city on a flat plane, it's almost like building like a Lego set or something. It doesn't look that good. It should have its own like natural environment. And obviously you would have a city right in front of the royal palace and right in front of the castle. It's well defended. The people are moving here. It's a center of trade. A center of power. And this is a dead end as well. How the hell do I get out of here? Guys, I'm lost in my own city. More interior design, guys. It's... Oh! An ancient artifact, guys. An empty flower pot. It's been a while. Here, take this one. Ah, wow. This actually walking down here. It takes so long to get through the city. You might think this is small from some of my screenshots that I made. It's really not small. This city is not small. It really isn't. That's why I'm walking through it right now. What's with this music? Why is it so modern? Go away. Okay, better. Wait, this is also modern. Doesn't matter. It sounds better. Oh wow. It's... See, that's what I meant. This is a little bit louder. If it's too loud, just tell me. Ah, it's so big. Can I please get to the end of it? Oh, nice. Okay, we reached the end of it. So let's look over it. Look at that forest. It's right beside the city. Yeah, I know. It's a survival thing. But again, I'm a server builder, so I just build things that look good. That's what I always did. And secondary came its function. If it ever had one. I was literally drilled like that. Okay, what is this music? Go away. So, the people who taught me building... so at the beginning I was just a little builder on a bigger server, and the people who taught me building were very strict. And so when something wasn't fitting in their, their taste, so it wasn't up to the quality, they just marked 2 positions and replaced it with air, and then it was gone, and even if it took 2 weeks. So this is the place that I spoke of earlier. So obviously this all needs buildings like that. All of it. So I'm gonna be busy for the next 1 or 2 weeks building that, interior designing that. It's gonna be much easier than the market district because, again, 40% of them will not be accessible. Well, that's not mean. I mean, they taught me lots of good things and quality control that way. But they also kind of gave me OCD. Because I don't know if you remember back when I started off. I actually had so much details on my walls. Like I put on everything that I could find in the decoration here and just put it on the walls. It's because as a server builder, as I said, you primarily focus on aesthetics instead of you know, usability. It's not practical, it just needs to look good. And so they drilled me so hard into giving everything so much more detail that I basically had to get myself out of that habit. But if I continued that build style, it would look maybe better, but it would also just, I would not be finished today. It takes insanely long. They made me a better builder, so I am grateful. So this is like the big mountain for people who ask like, well, I mean, how big can a mountain be, right? Well, this thing is like 500 blocks high, so... And we are walking, again, this... I want to have one row at least of buildings, and then behind that I can build a forest. But, or plant a forest. Like that. But I want buildings here. Yeah, that's good. I had to shed so much detail and so much of my OCD. I had to fight it because I basically I just needed to be more efficient. Hello. As you can see, you can actually look through. Telescope. The Observatorium is so big. It took me 3 days to build it. Oh no. I can't actually. Not very well designed, guys. I didn't test it. Guess I need to fly. So this is where it's supposed to look through. And obviously you don't have a mechanic for zooming in. But the telescope is actually, you can look through it. It's kind of funny. Yeah, and I will continue to fly from now on because I'm basically done with the city. This is very realistic. So at first I wanted to build like a big telescope coming out of there, and it would have looked like basically a World War II cannon. And that is obviously not what you wanted. So I googled some pictures of real Observatorium, and they showed literally just a hole. You have a hole, and then the telescope is on the inside. And you have these slide doors, and I think I emulated them really well. So they slide together and close it. Holy moly. Big forest. Big mountain. Very big mountain. Very, very big. Yeah, well, terraforming, guys, it's not the most fun thing ever, but yeah. I had to do it. Everything has to be really big here in this city, at least, because and this is a heads up to future projects after this city is done in a year or something. Everything from that point on will be all smaller. It's meant to be the biggest thing on my map. It's literally the capital of this world. So let's fly through this because we actually reached the end with the Observatorium. So I can show you my future ideas where I will put more stuff in. Some ancient castle. Yeah, well, I mean, ancient would be unwise for the head cannon. This was basically all empty, and it had no civilization here. That's why there is a capital now, because the empire that came out of it from a neighboring area conquered everything. But I mean, we can still think about it. Perhaps a mine shaft. Yes, that's a more interesting idea that I was thinking about as well. we have this gigantic mountain, and I could easily make like obviously they would mine in that mountain, they would, and that's something that I can imagine very well. Mine carts and all that. Oh wow, some ancient artifacts as well. Not from the game, but for me. This is how I mark an area for something. So yeah, this is like a fortification. It's literally just an intermediate fortification for people coming up the city. So basically, obviously a big empire that doesn't really care about its citizens, and they will use the city and its civil population as a defense mechanism as well. As this is an additional defense layer. Anyone wanting to conquer the big castle back there would have to not only fight through the entire city, but then there's an actual fortification right in front of the city, meaning that you would have no choice but to slaughter and plunder the entire city, because you would have to siege the entire area for weeks. Yeah, empires are brutal, guys. That's what they do. Well, that's a wall. It made this map great again. It shielded them from the outside, guys. No one was coming in. Quite funny is that this wall is actually built seaside, so everything on the other side is meant to be water. So I don't know why I built this wall here. But yeah, I mean, if you try to land like D-Day with ships, you will have a problem. But you certainly won't bring an army. Extra fortification, big towers. And again, it's like this all is dwarfing this here, but if you go down here, this is also just gigantic. It's so big, you lose a sense of scale and size very quickly on this map, because if you fly around you see the big tower, and you look at this tower, you're like, oh man, that's small. And then you go here and you're like, oh well, it's actually not. It's very impressive. So nothing big has changed back here, but I want to show it in this stream as well, because I think once again I'm gonna upload it on YouTube, and I just want to be able to show people. And as I said on Discord, sometimes epicness in this game is really hard to capture just on pictures. Videos are better for that. Imagine trying to siege this thing. I would desert immediately. Like, if I was the invading army, I'd be like, first of all, I would be coming from slaughtering an entire city right there, and then I would have to siege this. I'd be like, yeah, sir, is that really that smart, sir? I don't know. So let's fly, because there's really no place that I can walk anymore. Speed up a little bit. It works in layer principle, so it's like you have one layer down here that is well defended, and then you have another layer that is well defended, and then you have another layer that is well defended. Sieging this thing is insane. It should just be like a warning to everybody, just like, look at this wall, try to conquer it, good luck, you will not succeed. And in my headcanon, what happened to this empire here is it actually fell from the inside, like most empires do. So they start basically slaughtering people because of uprisings against them. But the thing with empires is that they have usually standing forces from all over the continent. And so when people are sent to in their own home regions to slaughter their own families at home, that's when your own military will maybe think about loyalty a little bit different. And so at the end, even the royal guards, which is really the only weakness that this castle has. It's someone from the inside will rebel against the Emperor. And kill him. Good shit. Yeah. By the way, this is one tower. And this is its big brother. So as you can see, we are at a relatively high point on this map. The small tower reaching up to 800 and 39. And then we have our big brother here, which is the biggest tower of this map. I cannot imagine interior designing this thing. I probably just won't, because it will not be useful for anything. I mean, at this view distance you don't even see the ground anymore. It's 20. It's like 1024 blocks high. Lovely. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a sip because I haven't been streaming for so long that my throat is kind of sore now from talking. So I will do something that I kind of didn't want to do, because there's a chance that maybe even the stream would crash. But I want to see a little bit more, you know. It's just like, look on the mini map. How big is that tower? Like you think, okay, it's a tower. It's really high. Like everyone can build a really high tower. You know those dirt towers. It's one block. It's 1 block diameter. Yeah, I mean, this is not just 1 block diameter, guys. This is a pretty big tower. You underestimate it very quickly. So yeah, now you can see the ground. I wish you could zoom in there. It's madness. This is a forest. Bruh. Yeah, this is dwarfing basically everything. It's meant to dwarf everything. So let's go down a little bit, so we won't lag too much. It's beautiful. I'd imagine, again, this is not done at all, but once I'm done with the temple, I'm gonna build a big temple over there. I'm gonna build a pathway here. I'm gonna finish everything here off, and you will look down on a big temple that is like really huge, but you are on top of that thing and you look down at it like it's an ant building or something. It's really funny. Now this is something that I didn't look at for quite a while, so I'm very excited to see it again after so long. It's my very often spoken about throne room. It's separate from the royal palace for a simple reason. To kill a royal family, you would have to go through this first and try to kill the emperor itself in the throne room. But at least they can't use his family, because his family lives in the royal palace over there, as you can see, starting to regenerate over there. So you would have to go through the throne room first, which is a gigantic place, and imagine if instead of emptiness. What the hell? Let's stop flying. Let's go on the ground. Yeah, well, I mean, that's a view. That's not chiseled. It's just so big that it looks chiseled, right? That's a good point. It looks chiseled because yeah, well, what is chiseling? Chiseling is also just an assembly of blocks or removing blocks from a block. They are just smaller. If you just make everything bigger, you can have the same effect. With normal blocks, guys. Ah, look at this. Once again, it unloads behind me. You will not reach the other side without it unloading. I could use a command that would stop the unloading, but I don't actually want to. Royal Palace. The music kind of fits, actually. The dude died here. I was the powerful emperor, I controlled everything, and then his bodyguard killed him. Oh, his bodyguards actually, all of the king's imperial guards are going to slaughter him. Because he basically slaughtered their families at home. Yeah. That's what he does. It's so epic walking through this thing. It's like I don't remember it because it's been so long ago, but it's like this is one room, guys. And again, imagine instead of emptiness, that was my point actually. You would have basically a whole row of guards just standing there. So you think twice about attacking anybody. There's like 1,000 people in here that watch you walk down this immensely big path, which looks pretty cool from above, by the way. Yeah, that's what you had. It's not a red carpet. You don't need a red carpet. You know where you're at when you look up. So yeah, this looks really epic with godrays on. I love that. You know, if you want to use it for your trailer or something, like these arches over here are just such a great, you know, I don't want to flatter myself too much, but it's like, it's been so long that I built them, and just looking at that again, it's just like, it's a wow effect. It's really cool. Look at the arch back there, it's so far away. Yeah, try to see its red thing. You wanna conquer my empire? Well, you first have to kill me. Try to get to the castle. Try to get into the castle. Well, and his biggest enemy was already inside the castle. He just didn't know. I could, yes, it's, I think it would be possible, but I don't wanna, like, press for it. I have enough time to look at my map anyway every day. I don't need to load it fully, but of course it would be really cool to just be able to load the entire thing and just look at it. Just go to the center of my map, which is like here, because that's where the city wall is, and this is where my castle is. So I could like stand here and just look around. That'd be so amazing. But yeah, that's something that we will have in the future, and I'm excited for it. So yeah, this is a royal palace. We have emptiness. It's only a facade, quite literally. But again, very epic, and again 2-layered. So I may build like a server builder, but in this case I actually wanted some practicality. You have a gatehouse here, so if you wanted to go into the throne room, you would have 2 gatehouses actually. Actually, basically it's like 3 gatehouses, to be honest. Like this is like a big gatehouse, and then you have this one, this is medium, and then you have a small one up here, and it's all with these kinds of towers, so people can shoot arrows down here, and down here, and these walls, and down here. It's like, it's yeah, it's just insanity to get to this place. Anyone trying to conquer it. I guess you need Game of Thrones dragons, then it would work. But we have no dragons. Yeah, that's the goal with LOD, is that because it reduces the detail in far away chunks, or in far away things that you can see, it should be possible for me to see everything. Another big tower, beautiful. No, so this is also Palace Place. It's so big, everything. It's actually madness. But I appreciate it. It's really hard to believe that I built all this now that I was constantly busy building these small ass city buildings. Yeah, it's just, it takes as much, as I said, it's motivational, motivation wise. Again, I could spend 3 hours building like 4 buildings in the city, or I could spend 3 hours building like a segment of this here. yeah, and at the end of the day, one thing motivates you and is like very rewarding, and the other thing is like, I have 3 more buildings or 4 or 5, and I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, it's a city, it has 300. What you wanna do, bruh? Throne room, very high, very epic. Dude, those towers alone are so insane. It's so funny. Remnants of copy pasting. This is where you put the, you know, this is the center point of the area, so I could copy paste the roof, because making the roof is such a time consuming thing. You can just make a quarter of a roof and just copy paste it 4 times and be like, yeah, well, same effect. And also really cool is the roof having towers on top of it. I think that's a really cool design when I made it. It's kind of like similar to, like, I was inspired by I think Notre Dame or some kind of cathedral. Not because they have, I don't know even if they have the same, it's just that I looked at the towers and I just wanted that on top of my roof, because I was like, well, you know, you can have a big room, or you can have a big room with lots of towers on them. So yeah. Epic construction. It doesn't even have a purpose. Like, this is on a defensive scenario. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, maybe they can shoot like an arrow down here, which is really hard to see what you're actually targeting at. But what are they doing? Like, what is this dude doing sitting here? He's like, oh wow, nice roof, guys. How you doing? So, not the most practical, but they look cool. Leave me alone, they look cool. You don't understand art. So, nice arch. I like that design. We'll probably use it a lot more with big buildings. It just looks cool. Yeah, and that's the end of the map. As again, you can see the origins of terraforming here. Back in the day I used big chunks of basically cubes or something to fill in the basic shape, and then I used smaller spheres of sand because of gravity, first of all, and secondly because if you immediately use these spheres of sand in that size, you would have such a lag, and I actually crashed my game several times, and one time corrupted my save file because of it. Oh, by the way, I've been on top of the castle, but another thing that is really epic for a shot is this. It's going from one tower to another. I built this bridge for that sole purpose of having that possibility. Just going here and just be like, oh well, it's a bridge between the 2 highest towers of this map. Non-human designs. Well, it's hard for me to imagine that, so I actually tried an elven kind of design back when I was a server builder, and I failed miserably. So I was just like, never again. But I think more fantastical designs will come at some point, because again, this is a fantasy world, and this empire is yes, it's a human empire, but the world is a lot larger. And Tavern and Sarity probably still know from what I said, what my plan was actually building this map. It's not gonna be just an island or, you know, just a castle and its environment. I want it to be an entire continent, guys. An entire continent. And actually, I got really inspired by some of your ruin designs and some music. And I actually want to build like a fallen culture somewhere and some ruins there. And that could be a more fantastical design. But I'm not sure how it would look like, and it's so far away, so I don't actually start brainstorming on that. So once again, we have reached the end of this wall. And again, it's a really high wall, so for everyone ever asking, and it's been quite a few people saying like, how do you do this? Well, I can do it with you guys. I actually can. And we can use 1 or 2 streams to just finish this off and connect it with the wall here. I think that could be a cool kind of time investment for me. Underground. That is also a great idea, actually. I have some really... Okay, nice, yeah. I have some really great ideas. So the thing about this game is it's so big that terraforming can be used in the other way. You know, you have a flat map with a lot of height and I can build big towers on top of it, but think about it differently. Think about it that way. You could terraform a really high plane and basically a mountain, and then make a huge vine through it that is like 800 blocks deep, and you look down there, and in between them it's basically like that shot from Lord of the Rings with when they fell the trees and throw it down into the hole where the orcs are. It's like that, and you can make non-human designs that way because they live there. And instead of going up, you go down 800 blocks. I think that'd be also pretty cool. The market is really cool, yeah. I actually was very surprised because I kind of felt like I was annoying at some point because every day I kind of posted an update. But it's first of all because I was excited for streaming, and it was basically me counting down the steps before I can finally stream. And then it was because I was very excited about finishing these steps because you may have noticed how annoyed about interior design I was and other stuff. It's just such an annoying task to do that. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm at it. And I was so surprised actually that every single one of these steps took me 1 day each instead of weeks, which it would have usually, you know, back in the day it would have taken me about a week. But yeah, market, pretty cool. It's not the only market. Once again, we have like a mini market design. Again, it's layered, so you go in here into the market district from the gatehouse. You have to fight either up the mountain, which is horrible because you're gonna be shot at from this wall, the all-seeing wall, or you're gonna have to fight through the city, which is also horrible because you have to fight through this layer of defense. Then the entire city that has guardhouses in it that can also be, you know, have people with bows in there or crossbows. So even if you start slaughtering the entire city, it would be such a slow process, and it's layered defense. Yeah, I mean, this is... I know that my style and some stuff that I do is not liked by everyone, and that's okay. So for me, this is just like my map, and if you have constructive criticism or something, that's always great. But sometimes I will also ignore criticism, because even if it was constructive, because this is my style, and this is how I do it now, and this is how I will continue to do it, because it's mine, you know. I spent like 2060 hours at this point building this, and if you don't like it, that's okay. I do not force anybody to watch this and like my screenshots and just like everything, but if you do, that's cool too. So this is the area that I actually marked with my typical style of putting colored blocks down. Yeah, well, this is gonna be a temple. I'm kind of fearing that position in which I would have to build this. Yeah, I actually would really like that, but at this point I actually got used to the 10 slot bar thing, so that's fine. It's not an issue, actually. Yeah, I mean, I know that if someone from my community back in the day would come in here, they would look at this building, for example, they'd be like, where's your detail? It's like, what the hell happened to you? Are you the same dude? They'd be really outraged, because it's not the style that I had back in the day, because I can't have that style anymore. It's impossible. You cannot do that. You spending 3 hours on a single small building will kill you. You will literally die before this map is done. Oh, by the way, I haven't actually shown you all of the map yet. Let's stop flying around so panically. So let's go out here. I interior designed lots of things. Hello. Nothing here. It's really cool. I built a little park in here, actually. So in the middle of like a city district, the biggest city district. Once again, I like the way I build things. I want contrast, and if I can't do it with color, I have to do it with structure or other things. And in this case, you have city, a big block of city, and a little park in between to break that massiveness, basically. Which is good. I think it's time now to do something really great. I think it's time to fly up. Activate time speed. While I'm taking a little break, I need to go to the washroom, but I will leave you guys at a good position, hopefully. Let's see. Help me, guys, find a good position. What do you think would be a nice position for this? Because I'm gonna let time roll. I want to see a full day-night cycle. I can't see the sun from here. And I want to use a higher view range. Maybe not. We need to see the sky as well. What time speed is actually set time speed? What was it again? Set time. What is dot time speed? Dot sets time speed. Was it that? What was it again? It's been a while. Wait, I have a file here. A moment. I actually write down, just in case that I lose internet connection and I can't access the wiki. I wrote down all commands. So we go for time. Speed. Oh, it's just time. Space speed. Ah. Great. What an amateur. Speed. So 60 is normal. Should I make it? What if I do it? Make it 100. 28. What if I make it 150? What if I make it 250? Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll actually see you later. I'll be right back. Well, I should have set it a bit fast. I noticed. But it looks great. And actually, I kind of want to reposition myself for the when the sun comes back up, but oh no! Oh no! I ran out of RAM. So guys, maybe this whole stream is gonna crash in a few minutes. Well, I'm gonna do everything to get it right back up. Yeah, I didn't even fully load the map, but somehow Windows is like, bruh, we ran out. Do something. I actually have 16 gigabytes, but I would really need 32. But it doesn't make sense to buy 32 for DDR3 anymore. I feel like I would have to upgrade my entire system for it to make sense. Because and anyway, I'm bottlenecked either way. Like, even if I have enough RAM, my graphics card will be the next bottleneck, right? So my entire PC is a bit outdated. I know I should have set the speed a bit higher, but let's just wait it out. We have nothing to lose. Just look at this. Amazing. It looks really beautiful. The night sky is one of those things that I really admire in this game. It's truly beautiful. 16 gigabytes, guys. And my computer is like, nah. Nah, fam. Not enough. You want me to load all of this? But I think I have actually set it to 768 view distance and not actually on full view distance. So I'm kind of confused why it ran out. Oh well, I'm streaming. I guess that's it. Probably OBS taking like 1 gigabyte or something. Because usually I can load the entire thing on maximum view distance. And it would actually be just about to run out, but not quite yet. You know, it would be like 14 gigabytes of RAM. It's a nice view. It's a great. Oh, the sun is back, coming back up. Nice. Let's see this, guys. I'll be right back in active streaming once we have witnessed this sunset. This sun rising. Not sunset, guys. I'm actually stupid. Oh, look at the sun coming back up from behind the tower, or behind the fortress, as we call it. It's not even a castle, it looks like one. It's not. It's just a fortress. This game is truly beautiful. When you haven't seen a cathedral that I would build. I don't want to build a cathedral, guys, please. I built a cathedral back in my Minecraft days. That was hard work. I hated it. How in the world did you build all of that in VS? Amazing. Well, I spent 3 years of my life. But not even for 3 years. So basically active building was like about 1 year. Though I guess you can argue those reporters now. Yeah, well, I guess you're right. That's true. Thank you for your follow. How do you say that name? Ascaros, thank you. But Raya Gal, is that how you say it? I am butchering it. I'm so sorry. So we're back up. Hello, sun. How you doing? Let's immediately turn down the view distance. It's not even full, guys. I don't know why I ran out of RAM. It's really insane. Let's go even lower. Go back to like this. So yeah, it's real. Again, it showcases what I'm always saying, that I hate building cities because small city buildings will take just as much time as an epic castle. And that's in the time that I built this entire thing, this entire project, like 1/3 of the time I built a castle and 2/3 I built a city. Despite that, the city is only that big and the castle is like there. Like they're big, you know, like that big. Actually, it's like that bit big here. Look. No, actually, it's that big. That was a lag. Can't fly through the tower. Now I can. It'd be actually useless to fire arrows from here because the arch would be that you would probably shoot like this and then it would drop here into the forest. By the way, someone actually, for that person, I don't know who exactly it was anymore. Sorry, I don't remember. But someone actually like pointed out that on the minimap this looks like a spiky wall, which it does. But the spikes, quite frankly, are towers. It's not a spike. I mean, it is a spike, right? It looks like a spike. That's a spike. It's just a tower spike, guys. A huge tower spike. So yeah. I actually really like, after all that city building, these small fry buildings, it took me 3 days. Do you know what I can build in 3 days? Like this thing, this tower, I built in 1 day, okay? I'm just saying, this I built in 3. 1, 3. Bruh. The law for that one, it's just a big as wall. What? America wants to build one? What am I gonna say? That, do you need a reason? Bruh. So no, actually, there is an actual law for it, for this big wall, which was, the actual law was, and as I said, this was formerly really empty, and there was no civilization here. But in a different area back there, which was the origin of what was going to become this empire here, they were invaded from an outside force that came through the water. And yeah, well, yeah, and I mean it's actually, even if you say with the castle, they both have the same reasoning. As I said, on this side of the mountain range here, it's gonna be a huge cliff, and it was literally because the beach that is going to be here in front of the city was the anchor point for an invasion that had the faction that was later to become this empire here almost annihilated. And the idea was that they, for times speed 0 times set day, was that they wanted to build a structure that was literally just to show off to anyone coming from there, from the sea, trying to get to the beach, that they shouldn't try anymore, like at all. It's like making up. It's like compensating. You almost killed us, now we build a big castle. Now you can't kill us, bruh. So yeah, I actually thought a lot about the lore Look at this. Time frozen smoke. It's all over the place. So yeah, that's basically the lore. And the lore for actually having these different styles and building for the front wall and the wall behind it is actually relatively easy. At first, that civilization, when it expanded, built a small town here, right? And if I say small town, I actually mean a town. And that expanded to a city. And they needed to build a wall here. That was the first like defensive structure. But when it became a bigger empire and it advanced through its power and its trade, it could afford to actually build stone structures at some point. And so the first city actually burned down, and they replaced it with this. Which is also the reason why these buildings near this wall are actually that high instead of small, because what was formerly behind this wall is gone. But you won't see any ruins. They basically, it's like Germany. They rebuild it, but better, you know. That's what you do. And the advancements obviously made it that you wouldn't need to use that much wood anymore. It's still wood, but it's much more massive because it has so much more stone in it. Chalk stone. So yeah, this is my map. Stream is not over, so for everyone who just wanted to see the map, I guess that's cool. So that was my map. Thank you for showing, for giving me your attention actually, and for everyone who still kind of wants to listen to my voice, I will do what I hate the most now, which is build city buildings, because that's what I do since the past 3 years. It's built city buildings, and you can see my inventory management, how I go about it. And then again, next stream will be hopefully in a week or something. I will, with you guys, I will do something very differently. I will finish this, because this is something that when I was building the market, I was always looking at this and it really annoyed me. I was like, this is not finished, guys. It's not finished. It's not finished. Like, why is it open? Why did I leave it open? Can't be. Impossible. So yeah. Again, I will try to upload it on YouTube, first unlisted. I will see if I get copyright striked or flagged or something. Hopefully not. And if you want to revisit the tour later on, like in 2 days or something, you should just check my channel and see if it's there. Or I will probably post it on the videos and stream section in Discord, so everyone can just click on it. And actually for the next 2 weeks you can actually just watch the VOD, but I mean, if it's like much later, Twitch will delete the VOD, so that's what they do. It makes sense. I mean, keeping the VOD of every little streamer you have, that's impossible, you know, server space wise. You can't do that, but I'm not complaining. It's okay. I can just upload it.